My name is Sophia Carter, and I live in a quiet neighborhood in Los Angeles, California. I had just turned 20, and my parents were away on a business trip in New York for a few days. For the first time, I was alone in our big house. It was a Friday night, and the sky had turned gray. Dark clouds loomed above, and I could hear distant thunder rumbling. I had been studying all day and hadn't eaten much. Around 8:30 p.m., my stomach growled loudly. I opened my phone and decided to order something from the Beverly Hills Bistro, one of the most popular food spots in LA. About 30 minutes later, just as the first drops of rain began to fall, the doorbell rang. "Delivery for Sophia," a male voice called out from the gate. I grabbed my umbrella and walked to the front. Through the rain, I saw a tall guy standing near the gate, his hair slightly wet, holding the food bag close to his chest. He looked about my age. Young, clean-shaven, charming. "I'm Ethan Walker," he said, smiling. "Sorry for the rain. This one came out of nowhere." I smiled back. "Come in, the rain's getting worse." He hesitated for a moment, but nodded. "Thanks. Just for a minute." Inside, I handed him a towel to dry off. I brought the food to the table and offered him something to eat too. "I shouldn't," he started, but his stomach betrayed him with a loud growl. We both laughed. "It's okay. You can sit," I said, gesturing toward the table. We sat, talked, and ate together. As the rain intensified outside, thunder crashing and wind howling, the clock kept ticking. 1 hour turned into 2. Time melted away as we spoke about movies, life in LA, dreams, heartbreaks. I learned he was from San Diego and had just moved to LA to make ends meet while studying part-time. By midnight, the rain hadn't stopped. The streets outside had flooded slightly, and the weather apps warned people not to drive. "You can't leave now," I said. "It's too dangerous." He looked unsure, but eventually nodded. "Only if you're okay with it." "I am," I replied, surprising even myself. We sat together on the couch. The lightning lit up the room every few seconds, followed by deep thunder. There was an odd calm between us. Then he looked at me. "Sophia, I know this sounds crazy. We've just met. But would you marry me someday?" I blinked, stunned. "What?" "I mean it," he said softly. "I don't know why, but I feel something I've never felt before. I've never believed in fate until tonight." His words were like music, his eyes sincere. He told me about his childhood, the losses he had suffered, and how he'd stopped believing in love until this strange, stormy night. "I want to sleep next to you tonight," he said gently. "Not just in the bed, but in your presence. I want to remember this night for the rest of my life." My heart was racing, confused but pulled in by his sincerity. Against every logical thought in my head, I said, "Okay." We lay on the bed, fully clothed, just side by side at first. He held my hand. I felt his warmth, his heartbeat, his truth. Then slowly, he leaned in and kissed me. That night, I felt something I had never felt in my entire life, a mixture of vulnerability, love, and reckless hope. Something happened between us. Something deep. Something that words fail to describe. But the morning came too fast. I woke up around 6 a.m., expecting to see him lying beside me. But he was gone. No note. No text. No missed call. I opened my phone. His contact had disappeared. I called the restaurant. They had no employee named Ethan Walker. I looked through the delivery receipt. Blank. He had vanished. He used me. Or maybe he was never real. But I still remember his voice, his scent, his heartbeat. That night remains the most unforgettable and haunting experience of my life. Sometimes I still dream of him. Sometimes I still hope that Ethan was more than just a memory. And sometimes I wonder if I was part of a story someone else is telling. Weeks passed, but the memory of that night stayed fresh in my mind, like a scar that wouldn't fade. I tried to focus on life, college, friends, everything normal, but something inside me had changed. I kept thinking about Ethan Walker. Who was he really? Why did he vanish? One day, I gathered courage and went back to the Beverly Hills Bistro where I had placed the food order that night. The manager, an older woman named Karen, checked their records. "I'm sorry, honey," she said, confused. "That night, we had no deliveries logged for your address. In fact, our driver called in sick that evening. We didn't send anyone." My heart dropped. I met someone that night. He said he worked here. A guy named Ethan Walker." I stammered. Karen frowned. "There's no one by that name on our staff." I left the restaurant, cold and numb. I began to think maybe I had been tricked, or worse, maybe I had imagined it all. But deep inside, I knew it was real. That night, I started searching online. I typed, "Ethan Walker Delivery Boy LA," hoping to find anything. Hours of scrolling brought nothing. Until I found an article from a local LA newspaper dated exactly 1 year ago. 20-year-old delivery boy dies in storm flood accident. I clicked it. The photo nearly stopped my breath. It was Ethan. Same face. Same eyes. Same boy who spent the night with me. According to the article, Ethan Walker had drowned in a flash flood while delivering food during a sudden rainstorm. The location was just 2 blocks from my house. My hands trembled. That means the boy I met was a ghost? I sat in silence, remembering everything. The way he looked, the way he touched me, the way he told me he wanted to remember the night forever. And suddenly I understood. Maybe Ethan came back for one last moment of love. Maybe he found peace with me that night. Maybe I was the last chapter in his unfinished story. Tears rolled down my cheeks, not from fear, but from something deeper. Something unexplainable. From that night on, I changed. I started writing. I told Ethan's story through a blog. Soon, thousands of people read it, many sharing their own mysterious encounters. It felt like Ethan's spirit had touched more people than just me. And every year, on the night of that storm, I light a candle at my window. Sometimes, when the rain falls, I still feel his presence. Sometimes, when I close my eyes, I swear I hear his voice. "Would you marry me someday?" And in my heart, I always whisper back, "I already did that night."